Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Assassin. Rob, Assassin. Looks like the
Yes,
Forester has cleared out. Where are you going, and what are you up to?
yes, Rob. Or perhaps it is time that I reveal
Oh,
that I am not Rob,
oh,
but Silent. Oh, shit. I guess I am Rob. Sorry.
okay.
I thought it was going to be a really big reveal. I'm sorry, Neil.
Just rip off the mask, and it's Steven underneath with all the hair. No, not today. Not today.
All right. Well, clearly I need to take care of important things here then. So as things are calming down, I've gotten all the information that I need. What time of day is it?
It is, let's see, it's probably been about a few hours since we started, so it's around noon or just after.
All right, I am going to then take care of something very, very necessary. There's a stream outside. I'm going to go out and walk to the stream. Do I see any kids fishing?
Yes, you do. There are children fishing at the stream.
Excellent. I'm going to go up to the children.
Okay.
And I'll have Sophie walking around on my shoulders, reaching up and petting Sophie. And say, how's the fishing today?
Fine. They're not biting, though. She's biting. No, he's biting. It's a little girl and a little boy. They both have rods.
So she's biting.
No, he's biting.
Oh.
Nuh-uh. You bit me first. Well, you bit me harder.
Well, that's too bad. There's no biting. Not even a little one?
They pull up a small, little, tiny fish. This one. Wiggle, wiggle.
All right, so you know what? That looks perfect for Sophie. So what do you think, Sophie?
Meow.
Could I buy that fish from you for a copper?
They nod eagerly and take the fish off the hook and thrust it into your hands.
All right, and is it still wriggling and alive? You say?
It's barely alive. You know, it's just got a few twitches left in it. It's probably been caught a few minutes ago. It's slowly dying.
All right, I'll start walking back across the bridge there, and as I get to the bridge, I assume there's some sort of railing. And I'll take the fish and I'll like thwap.
Toss it into the water?
No, I thwap the fish's head against the railing.
Oh, okay.
Or hopefully kill it, or maybe just to knock it unconscious to be devoured alive by something.
You bash the fish's brains in, putting it to a quick and swift death.
All right. And I will head over to... What was the name of the one across from
The last home.
The last home. I will go over to the last home. And I will... They don't have any place to eat there, though, huh?
The downstairs did not have a tavern built into it, but I think they will take orders. Let me take a look at the layout again.
They're really overlooking a revenue stream here, Neil. This is a clear and obvious revenue stream which they are not tapping into.
Well,
I don't think they're going to be moving into the business models of the 13th century here.
you know, not everyone can be as shrewd a businessman as you are. There is a small kitchen there that they will make meals for the people staying. They'll make breakfast for people staying there. But that's about it.
Do they have a sitting room downstairs or anything at all?
No, their downstairs is actually a warehouse that they use space for, and then they rent the upstairs rooms as inn rooms. So they're not a full inn. They're like a warehouse/inn combo.
Yeah, that's definitely synergistic.
You know, that no one here has an MBA. They haven't been invented yet. How are they supposed to know how to do these things?
Well, I guess my business model is going to be to invent an NBA and then start educating people in them. Supply and demand. I'll have a monopoly.
We'll save that for another campaign. We'll have the I don't know, we'll come up with a good name for it.
That's why I was planning to take level in accountancy. But anyway, I guess after I go in there and get frustrated because there's nowhere to sit and eat or anything, I guess I'll go over to the Forester, which seems to be my only actual option as far as a place to stay.
Yeah, you can head back over to the Forester, and let's move you right there. And things have settled down here. People have chilled out and are getting back to their whatever they were doing beforehand.
All right, so I think it's time for Leonardo to have lunch. And he'll also ask for a dish for Sophie.
Of course, they're more than happy to bring Sophie a glass of milk or whatever it is that you would like.
Oh, I just needed a dish so she could eat her fish.
Oh, right. They'll bring a small dish for her to eat her fish.
All right. So I won't put it on the floor. I'll serve her at the table with me, and I'll make conversation with her as
You'll talk to the cat?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll talk to the cat, but then also assume responses from her and carry on the whole conversation.
Can we get a sample of this dialogue?
Sure. So this pork could be a little bit better. How's that fish there, Sophie? Off the scale, you say? Well, I guess. Interesting. I had not considered it from that angle, but you've always got the clever take on these things.
All right. Where are you sitting, or hanging out, or standing, or whatever?
Well, let's see. Seems like these tables are pretty full. So I'm just gonna eat at this bar stool right here.
Okay.
And so between my meal and let's splurge and get something a little, say, a mid-level quality of drink.
Sure.
How much do I toss down here for that? Like 5 copper?
5 copper will do it.
All right. And after I've had my meal, or as I'm wrapping up, I'll start to make conversation with the bartender and start to see whether he might like someone to play here.
Yeah, we'd love to have someone play here. Did you, I thought I saw you standing about earlier today. Do you think you could put together a song about the happening at the Forester? I think that'd be a really great title for the song. The Happening at the Forester. Right? Doesn't it have a ring to it?
The Happening at the Forester. Wow.
Right?
Definitely. As I'll have to see what I can do here. A title like that deserves a song to match.
Thank you. I knew you were a good bard when I saw you. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to take the tune of The Goblins and the Midwife, and I'm going to use that I'll just start changing the words and make up a chorus to replace the chorus about when the goblins switch the child out.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be about, instead of the goofy antics of the goblins, it'll be the goofy antics of these these thieves, and instead of the stern midwife, I don't know the name, so I'll just, supposedly, so I'll just make up a name for the woman who put them to rights. And in my story, she'll beat them senseless with a rolling pin.
Okay.
And the bartender, whose name I will get, will factor in as noticing that they were trying to pick her pockets and giving her a warning. And he's something of a hero in this thing too.
His name is Clyde.
All right. So Clyde couldn't have a name to go easier with some sort of nickname for him. Clever he is.
Clyde the Snide?
Yeah, see? Doesn't quite do it. It could be Nero the Hero or something. But anyway, so make sure that Clyde is something of a hero here.
Okay.
He gives her a warning. He knows that these people are up to no good. It's his warning that saves her at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tell the story here.
Okay. You want to give me another performance check and see how well your on-the-spot story goes? On-the-spot song? Oh, God. It's,
I keep trying to find something to rhyme with Clyde.
Yeah, I think people maybe think you're putting on a performance, and then you're stumbling, and Sophie keeps like batting at your strings on your lute, like hitting them with her claws. And I think what started off as a performance quickly becomes like tune, what's that word? And becomes more of like a side practice thing. It doesn't go too well.
Yeah, the audience is like, rolling pin, that's playing into outdated stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
Yes. So I acknowledge and try to be better. Well, that didn't go well. I was hoping to maybe get a night's stay here out of that, so I guess I'll have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
How much do I have to pay for a night here?
20 copper. It's a cheap place. If you want a kind of a bulk room, like a room with 3 or 4 beds and any other number of people could be sleeping in it, you can go away with a 20. If you want your own private room, it's going to be close to like 80 copper.
Yeah. So I'll have spent close to a gold at this point. I'm going to get my own private room.
Okay.
Sophie deserves the best. I'll even say that to the innkeepers. Like, if it was just me, I'd sleep the common room. But Queen Sophie here has standards.
Of course.
And I haven't seen Sarah return here, have I?
You have not. And granted, it's only been a few hours since the altercations.
I'm guessing this might have gone very badly. She might have flown the coop. What are her options? Where can she go? Well, she's going to wait around for her handler. But she's not going to disappear entirely, which means I can find her. So I'm going to get a good night's sleep, and we'll try again in the morning.
All right. We can just skip to the next day.
So I'm going to start out by again getting about town to see what I can see. Starting with going to the market, looking for any fine produce. I guess probably in that middle market square. I'm checking out the different produce and also anyone else who happens to be doing so.
Okay.
Maybe I find myself a good apple, purchase that,
Sure.
and eat it as I walk around the rest of the market looking at other things here.
Sure. This is the second day?
Yes. Morning of the second day.
All right. And you stayed at the Forester that night. So give me a perception check, would you please?
Of course. The die are not with me today.
They're just warming up, right? First rolls of the game are always a little wonky. But 11 is all that you... Actually, 10 is all that you needed to spy Sarah Wilkins. As you're in the market buying an apple, you see her coming from the north end of the market, through it and kind of down southward in the direction of the Forester.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
I will spend a bit of the morning. This seems like an obvious place where I would perform, and I will perform.
Sure. You perform in the market square for a while. You make a few copper coins, not too many. You can add 10 to your currency, your money. And she doesn't seem to come back this way. Why don't you give me a perception check from where you're standing in the market to see if you can tell which building she goes into. DC 15 on this one. That'll do. Yeah, you can see her. You can keep an eye on her as she heads down that street, and she takes a left-hand turn into the Forester.
All right. Yeah, I figured if that's where she's supposed to meet her person, she's going to end up there. All right. I will continue my performance until lunchtime.
Sure.
And return to the Forester. Well, actually, return to the stream first. Kids out there again?
Kids are still there. This time it's a group of 4. And they do not see you coming.
All right. I announced myself to them. If it's, are they the same kids or different ones?
2 of the same and 2 additional children.
All right, so I'll go to the 2 kids that I've met before. I said, I hope the only thing's biting in the fish.
Yep, we got a bigger one today, and they pull up a slightly bigger fish, maybe about yay big.
Oh, that is a really big one. You know, I wonder if that's too big for Sophie. What do you think, Sophie? I reach up and pet Sophie's. I look down there. What do you think? Do you have a smaller one?
They look around and they shake their heads. No, just this one.
Well, I guess it'll have to be that one. That one, I'd say that's twice as big as the one yesterday, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. That means twice as many copper.
Absolutely. That's, you're a hard bargainer, but you got me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pay 2 copper. And I'll
right.
take the fish, and I will go back to the Forester, ask for a dish for Sophie, and feed Sophie at the table with me while I sit and have a meal.
Sure. As you are sitting and having a meal, you see Sarah Wilkins sitting on a bench against the wall, and you can see that she's like leaning her head against the wall and looking sideways out the window, which kind of looks... from her angle, she'd be looking down the road towards the bridge entrance to town. And she's just got a pint that is still mostly full, and she's just kind of leaning against the wall, looking out the window, and then around the bar and out the window.
All right. Are there... It looks like there's a good number of people in here. How many would you say?
I would say right now there's maybe 10 people.
All right.
14 people. 14.
Okay, so are we even male female split?
I think we're pretty close to that. I don't know if it's exactly 50-50. I can count though, since I actually have their tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 females. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 males, 8 males with you.
All right. I am going to pick the most attractive looking female in here and try to do a little bit of flirting, try to catch her attention. I do have a cat that I'm treating very well sitting here with me, which is probably a certain draw.
I think that's a pretty good icebreaker, I would expect.
I introduced Queen Sophie. I do a lot of, sort of the little joke I was doing about Sophie having higher standards than I do. And
Right.
She insisted on this place, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just doing some light flirting here.
Sure. Just give me a charisma check. Just a flat charisma check for...
Persuasion?
I was just gonna sure. I guess flirting could be under the guise of persuasion. It's a charming way of chatting. Sure.
All right.
So yeah, your charming factor right now is about 23, which is pretty good.
All right. And I only if I can do so unobtrusively. I'm not going to go out of my way to do this, but I will see if at some point I can take a glance and see if Sarah is noticing me or not.
Yes, you absolutely can take a look and spot Sarah. This is the time where I want to ask you what it is that you're wearing, especially anything regarding weapons or armor that might be visible, so we can judge what your visibility is.
So I am going to. The only thing I want to have on me is a knife, and not like a full-on dagger, but just like a knife that I would use to cut my food.
Sure.
Just something a typical peasant might have on them. I'm wearing my performer's coat, with different colored patches. I have my lute, and I have the various ribbons and strips of cloth tied to it, and the lute strap. And I'm going to have a wide-brimmed hat, not my wide-brimmed black assassin's hat, but a performer's hat, kind of a showy one with a big, colorful plume.
Sure. Do you have any hidden weapons on you that another assassin might be able to suss out?
The only one is the
the
sword in the lute.
Oh, there's a sword in the lute. Okay.
Yes.
I will give her a check to see if she's noticed that. Okay. And then... All right. So she's not really paying too much attention to you. You give her a glance every now and then, and she seems pretty content with the situation as is, and is still mostly looking out the window.
All right. So after a bit of flirting here and trying to seem innocuous, I am going to ask if I can play.
Clyde looks at you and goes, I don't know, can you?
I admit I didn't do the best job coming up with something on the spot. I'm better with the classics.
All right.
Like Freebird?
Can you do me a Wonderwall?
Who doesn't like Freebird? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Either one.
All right. So I'll try to do better here.
There you go. It is an average performance. Comically average. So you can get up and you can...
Here's the thing with this newfangled online stuff. Back in my day, we knew that dice needed to be motivated. So it became tradition that if we were going to roll a d20, we would roll 2 d20s. One would be stated as the official d20. The other one would be the competition die. Because we felt it would motivate the official die to have another die rolling, and it would want to do better than the first die. And I do want to specify that we did this in a group I was playing with that was mostly astrophysicists who apparently were absolutely fine with humanizing the dice and attributing emotions to them. Well, and a fair amount of superstition. But
I think we all know that if your dice don't perform well, you separate them from the rest of the herd and you put them in a spot that's either like a dark enclosed area where they can feel their shame, or, you know, like in like a spot high up somewhere where they're in like public display of their shame. And after they've appropriately been timed out, you bring them back and let them play with the other dice again. And if they keep pissing you off, there are other things we do to them.
See, I guess that is one area where I have gone a bit more modern in shaming my die. When my die fail me, I like to put a picture on Facebook with a little sign in front of the die that say, I failed a death saving throw for my owner, causing a total party kill. Yeah. You know, I just post that on Facebook for everybody to see the die's shame.
You know, I don't like that sort of public shaming. I feel that's cruel and maybe a little abusive. The localized public shaming among your own group is a good motivator, I find. But that sort of stuff, I don't know if I can condone such a public humiliation. But to each their own.
I mean, I guess if you're some sort of snowflake who doesn't want to give your die the discipline that, you know,
they really just need a motivational speech.
That we had back in the day when we had these crummy die that came in the basic set where you had a crayon because they didn't even color in the numbers. You had to do that yourself. And I'm sure in this day where you don't even have to like have the pre-painted die. You've got die apps on your phone with your Poke books and instant 20s or whatever, and all that stuff. But you know,
hey, you gotta get with the times. It's
die that built the nation.
You gotta modernize. A different time called for a different die, but we've moved on as a society, and we should just agree to disagree. All right, let's.
All I'm saying is back in my day, these were the kind of die that had radio preachers screaming about how demonic Dungeons and Dragons were. And now, you got them on Big Bang Theory. I mean, come on. Just saying, nobody's respecting the D&D the way they panicking about it the way they did back in my day.
We appreciate the work that you did getting us to where we are today, but we need to move past those old hurdles, past those old misconceptions about things. That includes updating our perspective on dice. All right. I don't
know. Just saying, if you don't have some sort of major evangelical ministry coming after you, then you're doing something wrong with your D&D game. That's all. Now let's get back to this heartless assassination scenario.
All right. Your target is in sight. She's right there. She's 15 feet from you or so, maybe 20 feet. But you are busily engrossed talking with one of the other people here and showing off your cat. Oh, and you're playing your lute. That's right. You're playing the lute.
Yeah. And again, I make a show of engaging, each individual person, sort of singing at various times, singing to particular people, singing them out to make them feel part of the performance. And in the process of that, I do, just as I would anybody here, sort of direct my singing at her and give her a smile.
Okay. She'll look at you while you're singing and kind of give a polite, if somewhat tired smile and like a nod, like, yes, hurry it up, okay? I don't... and sort of tries to avoid eye contact with you. She seems sort of distant and like she's trying to keep to herself and not engage with you, even though you're like clearly going around the tavern and talking to everyone. She's like,
all right, I'm gonna try to give off the feeling of the impression of looking a little. Oh, she's playing hard to get. Is she sort of intriguing thing?
Yeah.
If I'm taking that as a challenge.
Okay.
Just kind of like, I see. When
she shifts entirely, so now you're just like facing her peripheral and just like does a complete I'm not looking at you, I'm just looking out the window. I am ignoring the bard now. I want nothing to do with him.
Okay. So I'll play my set for a while. I won't bug her again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play up to other people that are being more responsive. Mm-hmm. And when I finish, when I was over there, did I see what she was drinking?
Yeah, it looked like the cheapest ale in the room, but it also looked like she has been working on it very slowly. You know, like she's got a glass of ale so that she can sit here, but she's not. You know, it'll probably take her an hour or two to finish it, maybe more.
All right. I'll get 2 glasses of the third best ale. Something that's like I'm trying, but I'm not rich.
Okay.
Like, oh, yeah, this is German, and yeah.
Yes.
That's better.
Yes. Okay.
And I'll bring a mug over and sit with her.
She looks at you and goes, "You're not going to give me trouble like those guys yesterday, are you?"
I'll look a little. I was like, "Was that you?"
Look, you're a fine bard, but I am not here to socialize.
I go, well, you're in an inn. You're surely here to drink. Perhaps we can do that together at least. But I'll push one of the ales over to her.
She slides it right back in your direction. No, thank you. I need time to sit and think. If you don't mind, I would like to sit and think alone.
Okay, I'll look concerned now. Are you okay? Is everything all right?
Yes.
Can I do my best to be charming and try to use persuade to at least get her to engage with me a little bit?
Sure. Give me a persuasion check to see if you can't suss out some amount of conversation from her. Although she's pretty icy, so it's going to be a pretty high check. Wow. Well, you are nothing if not able to work your words, work a little magic with your words, and eventually, after a few more attempts, she goes, "All right, one drink, but really, I could use some time alone." And she takes the drink that you brought to her and takes a large swig of it and says, "Hi, what's your name?"
I'm Leonardo.
Lovely to meet you. I'm Sarah.
Whisper. Are you in trouble, Sarah? Are they gonna try to come after you?
Don't worry about it. I'm fine. I can take care of myself.
I'll say a little bit nervously. Well, I could guard you. If you think
oh my God, that's exactly what they said yesterday, and one of them ended up dead.
Oh no, I didn't mean like, hey, I just meant I'm okay.
She leans in and grabs your shirt by your lapels and pulls you in close to her and says, "Listen, I can take care of myself. I don't need you to watch me or guard me. And if you are going to insist on causing trouble," and she kind of pushes away, "you might end up like one of those guys."
All right, I look a bit scared at that, or a little taken aback. Okay. And I sit back looking a bit abashed. And I'll sit there quietly for a bit, and I said, well, I saw them afterwards. I guess you really can take care of yourself, can't you?
She nods, just once to herself.
I say, are you like a mercenary or something? Like an adventurer?
She shakes her head a little bit. No. Fisherman.
Oh, okay. And this seems like a great time to bring in Sophie. I'll call Sophie over.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might end up with a fan here. Then I've been paying the local kids to get fish for her. Maybe I can strike up a deal with you. I say, try to be charming.
Oh, well, I wouldn't want to take away money from the kids. That seems like a good thing going on.
Okay, yeah, true enough. And
The world's so full of dark things these days. You know, it needs a little bit of hope.
Okay, and I've got Sophie up on the table, and I'm stroking Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I'll stop so that she feel that she wants to start petting Sophie.
Yeah. I mean, when Sophie kind of walks around, she'll scritch her and scratch her a little bit. But she keeps kind of looking down the road as if she's expecting something, and then looks back to you and says, you said your name was Leonardo. What do you do, aside from annoy people who are trying to spend time alone?
Well, that's my main profession, but as a side gig, I try to be a bard.
Of course.
It's not going as well as the annoying, though.
Clearly, seem to be faulty at both.
I smile a little bit at that then. I say, you said the world is dark and dangerous. Has something happened to your family, or?
You ask a lot of very personal questions.
Well, okay, I'll be honest. You were the one person here who didn't really interact with me or seem to respond to the music. And
A glutton for punishment, I see.
yes.
I know the type. Always looking for the one thing you can't have and always setting yourself up for failure so you'll never get it. Yeah.
I say perhaps.
Yeah. I know what that's like. But as Madrigal, the goddess of hope, says, you can always move forward. You can always make amends.
It's true. Or you'd like to think it's true.
As long as there's life, there is hope. Hope is always the last thing to die. Everything else is lost. Hope fights on. That's why Madrigal is the brightest star in the sky.
I'll look a little quiet for a bit. I'm thinking, and then take a swig. I say, I know a little bit about hope. I say, that's what kept me going in the mines when I was a kid.
Kid? In the mines?
Yeah, it was a silver mine. They didn't give us a choice about becoming miners.
Miners. Where are you from?
I don't remember the name of the village you gave me.
You could give a region. I don't remember the name of the village either.
From a little village called Brurgla in it's out. You probably don't know it. It's on the Isle of.
Oh, Gade Isle. Yeah. Yeah. Tough area up there. I had a friend eaten on Gator Beach once.
Eaten?
Eaten. Yep. By gators.
Usually we tried to stay away from them, but wow. That's... At least I got out of the mine, I said.
Mm-hmm. She nods.
That was... It was tough to have hope that it was... They sent us in before sunrise. Didn't let us out till after sunset. I'd say there was a couple of years when the full moon was the most light I saw.
How'd you get out?
There was a group of gypsies that came through, and they were playing, they were performing, putting on late night shows as they do out at the edge of town. It seems like they weren't maybe treated a little better than us, but not by a lot. I managed to sneak out and see them, and I was fascinated. Their music, I hadn't heard it in years, and it just pulled me in. I felt like I was floating around on it. I knew if I tried to get away, they would hobble me or worse, but it seemed worth it at that point.
And here you are, some years later.
I went with them, even as badly treated as they were. It was better than I was used to. I learned to play. There was freedom wandering the world, not tied down anywhere. Seeing what's around the next bend. When you get tired of where you are, moving on to see what else is out there, you know?
Well, if only all of us could live so freely. Many of us are tied down by lives that we can't change.
You know, I think if you think you can't change your life, there's things you're missing. I mean, if I could get out of the mines, now I move out with complete freedom. It's just a matter of what you're willing to give up.
Or what you're willing to do. There are some lines that maybe we shouldn't be crossing. And look at that, I finished my drink. Well, Leonardo, it was surprisingly not uncomfortable talking to you. But I must get back to my sitting alone.
All right, then. If surprisingly not uncomfortable is the most interesting compliment I've had today.
Maybe I'll see you around. Are you staying in town long?
I don't know.
Well,
depends on how interesting the town is and what's around the next bend. There's a river, the stream that goes down here.
I know, I'm a fisherman. Fish the
where
river
it
every
goes?
Thursday.
Do you know where it goes? What's up and down?
Eventually it leads out into the canals near High Castle. And there's a confluence just south of town. One river leads... let's see, the Honey Rapids leads up kind of in the middle of nowhere, while the Dwarfgate River heads up towards Tharnham.
What's Tharnham like?
Small dwarven town. Lots of mining, coal and silver, copper, some dyes. Bunch of dwarves. Nasty folk.
Seems like the kind of place we could liven up. If
We?
were to head out.
It's time that you get back to not annoying other people.
All right, I'll let you get back to your fish.
She nods and returns her gaze out the window.
All right, I'll go talk with others, do some drinking, and towards the evening, do another set.
Yeah, she's been there the whole day. She didn't leave, not once. Just kind of sat in that spot, sipped a drink. I guess she must have left to go use an outhouse somewhere at some point in time, but, you know.
All right, and I'll play whatever the equivalent of Freebird is and kind of direct that at her here and there.
Sure,
About
sure.
being as free as a bird. And...
Yeah. She'll give you a glance every now and then with like an eye roll involved in it, and then keep her eyes focused out the window.
All right.
Okay, well, we're just... Oh, okay, I was going to take a break, but do you have something else before...
Another average performance.
You know, I don't know if these average performances are a blessing or a curse, because they're not attracting any attention. It's not going to be a memorable performance. No one's going to know that you were here.
Definitely it's the perfect spy performance.
Just middle of the road.
Yes.
Okay.
All
well,
right.
Let's take our break, and when we come back, you're going to have to find a way to end it. To end her life. So we'll see you guys in a moment on the other side of our break.